Yeah, what's so interesting, some people wonder how long our currency can stay fiat and be off a gold standard. Well, it's lasted 50 years now, but interestingly, something has changed within, if you want to call it the latter portion of this last 50 years, and you bring it up, and that is Bitcoin, something decentralized. If gold is God's money and the dollar is the government's money, Bitcoin is the people's money. So a lot of people, they want to convert their dollar into something like Bitcoin. That might be bad money driving out good because people don't want to put their Bitcoin in circulation. A lot of people hold on to it. Maybe it's back to Gresham's law where Bitcoin is good money and the dollar is not so good money.
It's centralized versus decentralized.
Yeah.
You see, the reason I like Bitcoin, it took me a while to understand, and I'm not an expert at it, but I understood it was DeFi, decentralized finance. So I love Bitcoin. I love anything that goes against the communist system called the Federal Reserve Bank and the US government and Wall Street.
Yeah, and bringing it back full circle to inflation, if you want to call Bitcoin maybe the future of money, maybe new money, I think its most compelling value proposition is the fact that it really cannot be inflated beyond 21 million. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin, unlike the dollar that one can just print endlessly.
Like I said, I'm not a Bitcoin expert. I just like the philosophy. It's decentralized. The Fed, the Treasury, Wall Street, centralized. I fought communism. I fight it today.
Getting out of the dollar is a way to get away from inflation and to get toward freedom.
I'm not against the dollar. I just know the dollar is debt and taxes. So my 50th anniversary of Nixon's August 15, 1971 thing is my expert Ken McElroy comes on. We're $1 billion in debt and I pay no taxes. Trump pays no taxes either. So right now, if I can leave you guys with those thoughts there, how in the world did these guys get $1 billion in debt? But that's what happened in 71. And we pay no taxes because that's what happened in 71 also. And if you can understand that, you'll understand that you've been brainwashed in our schools. And so that's why I write, that's why I speak. And it's not gold, silver, or Bitcoin. Is it what was put inside your head at school? I think most school teachers are like Marx. They're angry people that can't understand why the rich are getting richer because they're not capitalists. So if you understand that, and I'm not against any of that. This is a free country. Make your choice. I just take huge risks saying these things because I've been shut down and censored so many times. I mean, you might get censored too for having me on your program, but I just want our freedom of speech, our freedom to assemble, our freedom to pray, our freedom to do what we wish. The freedom to not get vaccinated. That's all I fight for, my freedom. If you want to get the vaccination, you want to wear masks, you want to give all your money back to the government, you want to pay higher taxes and make less money, that's your freedom too. It's a freedom of choice, okay?
You bring up debt. If savers are losers, then be a debtor. You want to be the opposite of a saver and be the opposite of a loser. Sure, you bring up the $1 billion of debt. We like to get into debt with real estate around here because we know at a 5% inflation rate, if we have $1 million in debt on real estate, the tenant services that for us. And then with 5% inflation, after 1 year, we only owe the bank back $950K in inflation adjusted dollars and only $900K in inflation adjusted dollars after year 2 and so on. So that's why we love real estate debt as a hedge against inflation, against the dollar.
Yes, but be very, very careful. I stopped buying real estate a while ago because I think the biggest problem is commercial real estate, as you know.
Yeah.
And that's where the biggest debt of all is. And so like I said, I'm driving around Arizona. We're a pretty affluent place, Scottsdale and all that. A lot of money moving into Scottsdale because people are migrating out of California, Oregon, Seattle. But it's the commercial real estate I look at. I go, the shopping center right next to my house is empty. And there's a lot of debt sitting underneath that shopping center.
Yeah.
So that's why I caution people, just be very, very careful today. Don't assume that what worked 5 years ago will work 5 years from now. And that's the biggest mistake they leave. So I can leave you one last thought, okay? I've been investing for most of my life. And there's a saying that investors have is the bull goes up the stairs, the bear goes out the window. But there's something else that happens spiritually inside investors. And the bull is going up, everybody's happy. They could be going broke, but they're still happy because the stock market is going up, real estate prices are going, and you get this false sense of euphoria. So in a bull market, everybody's happy. But when the bear goes out the window, they get depressed, and that's a depression. And so that's what my friend Jim Records and I are saying right now. We're already in a depression. So I would be cautious talking to everybody. Don't assume that worked 5 years ago will work 5 years from now. I was driving around with my friend who's another multi real estate guys. And we're entrepreneurs. We own a lot of property, a lot of businesses. And we're driving around, we're looking for a place to eat in Scottsdale. This is just 2 nights ago. And we go to this restaurant, we can't even get in. Every restaurant is packed. Everybody's happy. That's the bull going up the stairs. Real estate prices are up, stimulate checks are up, kids are making fortunes, and Robinhood stock trading, whatever they're doing. That's the bull up the stairs. And we went into like a third restaurant. We couldn't get in. So you have to come back at midnight for a reservation. That's Scottsdale, Arizona, pretty affluent place.
Yeah.
But the last place, Keith, was all these women were dressed in evening gowns. And my friend Scott turned to me and said, "It's time to sell." And, people were in such a euphoric high. And so somebody says, "But was it a high school prom?" And said, "These women have been out of high school for about 3 decades." Everybody is celebrating when the bull is going up the stairs as euphoria. But anybody who's lost their job, they're already heading into depression, if you know what I mean. If you're homeless right now, you're in depression, and it's growing. People losing their jobs or businesses. So depression has started. So that's why Jim Records and I, he wrote the book, The New Depression. We're already there. Depends on who you talk to. So the final word is this. There was a saying that goes, "Well, how did you go bankrupt?" I think this was from Ernest Hemingway or something. He says, "Well, 2 ways. I went bankrupt first, slowly, then suddenly."
Robert Kiyosaki, it's been valuable. As always, thanks so much for coming back onto the show.
Thank you very much. I thank you, Keith, for doing what you do to educate. Keep teaching, my friend. Keep teaching. Most important thing you can do today.